Perhaps the single most common challenge for everyone, from college students to rock stars to parents to CEOs and everyone in between, is time management. It's the ultimate limiting factor in productivity. In Stanford's 10-week quarter system, with the volume and complexity of material you'll be handling, it'll be absolutely vital that you plan and use your time based on conscious and balanced decisions. In this segment, I'll talk about some common misconceptions about time, some common mistakes in using it, and some strategies for managing it well. Your life in high school came with a built-in structure that was imposed by your 9 or 7 to 3 day and your after-school activities and homework and the expectation of you to be home and in bed asleep. And outside of classes, there was rarely any deciding about how you were going to spend your time. Depending on how many units you're taking, your class schedule here may structure only about 15 or 16 hours of your week. That leaves about 150 more hours that you have to decide what to do with. A good rule of thumb is that for every unit you're taking, you should expect to spend 2 to 5 hours outside of the class on the material for that course. So if you're taking 15 units and are in class for 15 hours a week, you should expect to spend an additional 30 to 75 hours outside of class time working on those classes. This number varies so greatly because not everyone learns at the same rate and not everyone has the same level of preparation. Your roommate may have terrific strategies for reading and getting work done, and you haven't practiced those, so don't expect the same numbers to work for you as they work for everybody else around you. Your schedule decides how those first 15 hours of class time will be spent, but you have to decide how those 30 to 75 will be spent. That 10-page paper that's due in 3 weeks cannot be researched, conceptualized, rewritten several times, and proofread overnight. Each step of that production of a paper needs a specific deadline that you have to set for yourself. Each step will take time, and you need to determine what time and how much and when it's got to all get done. Rather than write into your calendar that you're going to study from 4 p.m. to midnight, write down what you're actually aiming to complete in those hours. This is not the same as this. Note that on the left, your weekend days look half as long as weekdays. In the life of a student, more gets done on the weekends than any other time during the week, so weekend days need to show the same amount of time as weekdays. Also note that on the left, the hours of the day take you until 5 p.m. 90% of your homework will probably get done after 7 p.m. and on the weekends. Although the grid format on the right isn't ideal because Sunday looks so painfully brief, it is better. The worst is this. Because while you can write in specific tasks, the 3 hours of Math 51 study look like they take the same amount of time as the 15-minute phone call home. This one functions more as a to-do list but doesn't tell you when and how long things will take. You will not be able to do everything on time all the time. It's normal. It's part of being here. It's part of making decisions about what's more important and when it's more important. Don't panic. If you don't finish your IHUM reading every week, or if you have to push a deadline back, you can do that. It's okay to be flexible. But it's good now at the beginning to look ahead in your schedule for times that you can get ahead if possible, so that when crunch time comes, you've already gotten something under your belt and don't have to do as much in that moment. But if you don't finish your reading, consider learning some more efficient reading techniques.